Hi, it's Shain from Imagineer Systems here. Today I'm going to cover Mocha Pro and the Insert module. If you've never used Mocha products, I strongly advise you to check out the new section, Learn Mocha, on our website. Video tutorials by Steve Wright walk you through right from the beginning the basics of learning the planar tracker in Mocha's interface, which is now common to all our products, Mocha, Mocha Pro, and Mocha AE. To save a little time here, I'm going to throw my video into double time as I go through and create an X-spline around this shot, add a second X-spline to knock out the reflections in the picture frame, and use Mocha's planar tracker to get a rock solid track on the picture frame. Now we're going to select our layer and let's rename it. We'll call it frame track, and then we'll just hide it. We want to now focus on creating a new X-spline layer and using Mocha Pro's roto tools to roto out the baby text here. Mocha Pro has the same exact features that are found in Mocha and Mocha for After Effects X-spline in Bezier-based roto tools. I'll just rough out the mat here. You can smooth any of the tangent points here on the X-spline tool. And then we'll take our shape and we're going to link our layer to our frame track layer. We can rename this. Once we have our basic roto shape, then we can select all the points on the shape, and we could add a global edge width, which is basically a softness for all the points. Any of these points could also be dragged out and have individual per point softening. And we can play back the shot and see the linked roto shape here. Now we'll display the surface and turn off our layer shapes. The blue surface area represents the planar tracking data that we'll be able to attach our insert to. And then we can preview our track data by turning on our grid and making sure that the track looks good. Mocha Pro has the same exact export features that Mocha has. You can export the tracking data to export the corner pin data, or select the layer and export the shape data to a variety of different systems to get the roto data out. All Imagineer products now export to Mocha Shape plugin format for After Effects and Final Cut and include bundled plugins for those systems. Rather than export our data out, I'm going to focus on the Insert tab to actually finish the shot in Mocha Pro. In the Insert Clip menu, we'll select Import. This imported file could be a sequential clip, an animated file, or even just one frame. If we want this one frame to carry through the entire clip, then we'll choose not to inherit the attributes from the previous clip. Now let's focus on the Insert tab. The first tab is the ROI, which stands for Region of Interest. Let's look at the source clip using the viewer pull-down. The red dotted line represents the ROI. And if we wanted to, we could change where our source clip is being cropped. And untick Lock Aspect Ratio. So inserts in Mocha Pro can be any resolution. They don't have to match your background clip. Region of interest represents the source pins or the source crop. So you can see our layer surface remain the same size, but my insert has been scaled. Now let's look at the second Insert tab. Let's dial down the opacity, get some of those reflections back in. This is an OpenGL preview, but Mocha Pro also has the ability to render any resolution shot. We also have some basic blur, motion blur, and render options here. Additionally, you can take your tracking data and offset it. There's X value, Y value, scale, rotation, shear, even XY perspective to do simulated rotation. Tracking text objects is a common task for Mocha users, so being able to rotate and offset the tracking data should be quite popular. The offset tracking can then be exported to any system. Let's just reset the offset data for a second and talk about the 3D offset. While Mocha is not doing a camera solve, we can do some basic 3D offsetting by changing the depth of the camera, rotating the axis, and tilting it. Now let's look at the Comp tab. Because my rotor shapes were created on this layer, I can use the actual layer matte from this layer and then invert it. So if we zoom in, we'll see that the baby text on the frame is now comped back on top of the insert. And we can take a couple seconds to adjust this X-spline layer. Remember, this X-spline layer is linked to our original tracking data, so it will follow the planar tracking. And a couple additional clicks to make sure I'm happy with my composite. As you know, Mocha's roto tools are quite popular for rotoscoping. And now I'll just take a couple moments to cycle back and forth and preview, make sure I'm happy with the composite. So now we'll go ahead, and where it normally says track, it now says render. We'll go ahead and render our final composite. So as you can see, the workflow is quite simple to render screen inserts in Mocha Pro. So while Mocha Pro will never replace a full-blown composite system, for specific kind of shots like screen inserts and logos, it will surely save you lots of time. And then under the File menu, you can choose Export Render Clip, which you can choose many different file formats to save out your clip. So that's a quick overview of the insert module found in Mocha Pro. You can download these source files if you'd like to go back and try to recreate this project. For Imagineer Systems, this is Shain signing off.